In this video, we will show you how to replace your coolant reservoir. Let's get started. To relocate this, we're going to come right down underneath this corner and you'll find a 10mm headed bolt. Remove it. Now that we have the mounting bolt out of there, we can carefully grab onto the coolant reservoir. We're going to try to lift it straight up and then pull it up in this direction. There we are. Now as we pull it up in this direction, we're waiting until the coolant makes its way away from these two hoses. Now that the coolant's drained down a little lower than the hoses, we can continue with removing each of these. To do that, squeeze the clamp, slide it down the hose, slide the hose off of the reservoir, and give it a quick inspection. Now we can use a pick and carefully remove the hose from the area. Keep in mind, there could still potentially be coolant inside any of the three hoses that are mounted to the reservoir. We'll use the pick to break it free. Once you have it broken free, continue on by safely removing it. Every time you remove a rubber hose, give it a little squeeze to make sure it's still soft and pliable and it's not torn, worn, or damaged in any way. This one, as you can tell right down here, has a notch cut out of it, but that's because it has to match up with a specific area on the reservoir itself. We can set this one aside and do the same exact thing to this one. Now we can move along to this last hose. This one is more common to still have coolant in it, so just keep that in mind. The next thing you want to do is make sure you drain all of the existing coolant out of this. Typically, you can go ahead and transfer it directly into your brand new reservoir. Okay friends, let's get ready to install our brand new coolant reservoir. We'll start with the larger hose down along the bottom. You'll notice on the reservoir itself it has a little nub here, and looking at the hose, you'll find a slot that fits over it. Once you have it lined up, slide your clamp back into its original position and make sure the hose is nice and tight. Let's continue on with our two hoses. We'll slide them into position, paying attention to the slots and the corresponding notch that's on the reservoir. Now we can take the coolant reservoir and put it in position. Before we do, have a look at the backside here. You'll notice that you have a slotted area that needs to fit directly over this as you put it down into position. Line it up, slide it down over that. The next thing you want to do is line up your mounting bolt hole, start in the bolt, and snug it up. Now that we have the reservoir fully mounted into the vehicle, you want to make sure that you top it off with the manufacturer's specified coolant. Assuming the coolant that was in the reservoir was still good, go ahead and apply it inside this area. We'll remove our cap. Now you can take your original reservoir and pour it right through this area. Once you feel as though you have it full, have a look from the front side. You'll find the area where there's a chart that tells you it's the cold fill range. As long as you're anywhere in between that area while the engine's cold, you should be good to go. Once you're sure of that, go ahead and install your cover. We'll screw it on and listen for our click. Okay friends, we fully installed our engine mount. At this point, go ahead and start up the vehicle. Make sure it doesn't feel as though the engine's shaking around at all. Assuming it feels good, go ahead and take it for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.